Hello everyone, my name is Jeffrey. Welcome back for another episode of Satisfactory. Today is all about electromagnetic control rods. Look at that, I said it right for once. We're going to be pumping out a whole 150 today per minute. Why so many? Well, one, just to have some fun, and also, we'll probably need them in the future. There's a few alternate recipes I'm going to be using in the late game that make use of them. And while I may not be doing nuclear power this playthrough, if in the end I do decide I want to do it, it's nice to have these ready to go. I picked out some real good numbers today too, by doing a few alternate recipes and some non-alternate recipes. I've got things pretty even. It's a lot of machines, but the numbers are pretty easy to work with. We're taking 1200 Caterium, 960 copper ore, and 2700 iron ore. I was going to use the pure iron ingot alternate recipe, but it makes that number super weird into like a crazy decimal. So I decided to not use the pure iron ingot recipe this time. I am using the pure copper ingot recipe and the pure Caterium ingot recipe though. So we are going to have to set up, as you can see on our to-do list, a water plant. We are going to start off the day though, just going over some blueprints that we can make this a bit of a speedier process going forward. I definitely don't have a big iron smelter blueprint set up, and I need 90 iron smelters, so it's gonna be a lot of fun today. So thank you guys for being here once again and supporting the channel in this series. If you do want to follow along, head on over to that Google Drive. You can download this episode. God, I have no idea at this point. Whatever the most I think it's like episode 27. It's definitely gonna have to be a two-parter, but we're definitely gonna get all the water plants, the refineries and smelters. We'll get all that stuff set up today, and these blueprints as well. And then we'll come back next time. We'll finish off all of our constructors and assemblers, and then we'll be done. It's a nice little two-parter, and we'll move on from there. Also, fun fact, on my way back from that rocket fuel power plant, I got jumped by a spider that I wasn't paying attention to the game for a minute, and I got jumped by a spider. And my long record of, I don't know, I think it was up to like 50 days since I died. Well, now we're back to one, because I accidentally died on the way back. But yeah, I think I'm pretty excited for this one. Like I said, the numbers are nice and easy, pretty easy to follow. I'll put the blueprints up in the Google Drive as well. But we are headed on over to the I think it's the Rocky Sands, right? I've got a train line set up and a big old platform with a bunch of miners set up ready to go. So it's a little bit easier if you're trying to build along with me. Saves you quite a bit of time. I mean, these episodes and these projects are taking so much more work and pre-planning than I think I ever thought it would. That rocket fuel factory probably took about 20 hours in total to put together, and I put it out in like 35-40 minute episodes. That was a lot of work. So at least this one should be a little bit more relaxing today, and just placing down probably a lot of blueprints and then connecting them together. So let's head on over here. We'll start off on our blueprint maker right here. I am going to start off our day by making a, 10 smelter, or 10 iron smelter blueprint here. Okay, just doing some quick maths, and I think what we're actually going to be doing is, instead of 9 groups of 10 or even 10 groups of 9, I think there's going to be 6 groups of 15. So once this guy gets out of the way, I will go ahead and make a 5 smelter blueprint here. Actually, I guess I can get started with it. So we're going to grab 5 smelters. I'm going to put them right, as long as they're on the side here, that means I don't have to nudge them over. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It should make this pretty easy to kind of manifold these together. So we're going to grab our splitters and start putting those down the line here. I'm not going to worry about raising these ones up, because these are probably going to be stacked on top of each other as these go along. And I am going to include the splitter on the end, so that I can manifold these in a line together if I need to. Okay, so mergers on the back. So it's basically just your straight up simple. Oh, my power does not reach. How does my power not reach this far? Hello? There we go, power reaches now. Okay, so throwing the mergers on the back, and then we're going to set these all to iron ingot. And then I'm not going to worry about underclocking or overclocking them yet. That way they should be all set up. Then we're going to just throw some mergers on there, give it some power, and that'll be our iron ingot blueprint. Alright, there we go. Pretty easy, simple iron smelter blueprint. And I think I'm even going to start doing this where I start labeling my machines with little signs, so that I can remember what everyone's doing a little bit more accurately. So these all have little iron signs on them with, I just picked a random kind of shade of green, 63D700 if you want it. So I think that looks pretty cool. So I think I'll start doing that with most of the machines. And I've also raised the power bar up a little higher than I've normally been having them, just because my ceilings are starting to be a little bit higher than normal. So I'm going to start sending them up a little bit higher than they have been. But that is it for the iron ore blueprint. So that one's pretty straightforward, ready to go. If you wanted to try and just fit all 15 into one blueprint, and then it would kind of fit definitely for this factory, but I mean, you could probably get used out of it in the future, but I think this will be a lot easier and it'll keep it more versatile going forward. Okay, so this is a blueprint I've made previously. This is my pure iron ingot refineries. I'm actually just going to, first of all, label these like I was the other one. I suppose these ones can get a bigger sign because they're refineries. We'll set these. I'm going to make these ones are going to be copper. I forgot to save the green as a preset, so it's okay. I'll adjust that in the future, but I just want to make sure these are actually set properly. So I'm going to change these over to the pure copper ingot, which apparently I haven't taken from my list of things yet. So let's just grab, I'm not even going to fly all the way over there. I'll just make another one. Go to our hard drive library and pick from all the ones we need. So we do need pure Caterium ingot, so I'll grab that one right now. And then I'll also grab, I saw there at the top is the pure copper ingot. Grab that one too. There we go. Okay, so now I can actually set these to be the pure copper ingot recipe. Pure copper ingot. And same thing here. Leave them clocked the way they are for now. And actually, since they're doing copper, I'm not going to make them the copper finish. Actually, I guess maybe I could. It's not as intense on the refineries as I thought it would be, because I was going to say I could do it, but I don't want my computer to lag too hard. But it's a minimal amount of copper, so I think that's okay. There we go. Okay, so that I can save as the 2 copper refineries, and then I'll also make it so it's just 1. So we'll have a 1, 2, and a 4, and that should be basically my like maximum amount of. I mean, you could make a 1, 2, 3, and a 4 if you wanted to make like to have like the most versatile setup, but 1, 2, and 4 should work really well. All right, there is my 4 refineries set for copper ingots. I finally saved that color for the sign I wanted, and then these ones I'm just doing swatch 16 that I don't think I've customized, but it looks a nice copper color and works well together. So you got your blue still for the pipe, and that's ready to go. So now I just got to do the Caterium, the same thing for the Caterium. I'm basically going to make one, so we have one for every ingot type, and then we will head on over to the platform and get started. Yeah, Caterium, painted that nice Caterium gold finish. Very nice. So these are my Caterium ones, so as per usual, if you want to get these blueprints for yourselves and not have to worry about putting them together, you can head on over to that Google Drive and download them for yourself, and just install them into your game drive, and you'll be good to go. Alright, before I run over to my new little factory spot over in the red rocky desert there, I just wanted to point this out still because, you know, it doesn't really matter how many hours in the game. I feel like people still need to be taught things every now and then, so that they, because, you know, sometimes you just don't know. Even I'm still learning things here and there. I've known this for a while, but, you know, if you've ever building and you got like a little rock here and it's like, man, I really wish that was just out of the way. You're still some splitty rebar or a obelisk. And just get rid of it. Bam, it's gone. Get out of here. So much nicer. Yeah, don't forget about that in case you've always been like, man, I wish I could get rid of this little rock right here. Most rocks can be getting rid of. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rocky Red Desert, or Rocky Sands Desert, whatever it's called. I am here on the bottom left coastline. Where there is a very nice pure Caterium node right over there that we have set up just a beautiful train line. Look at those curves. Look at them. Check those out. I'll show you guys those blueprints here maybe in the next episode. It was just taken from another Satisfactory YouTuber, Total Eclipse, that I'm sure you guys know. I just kind of put some different decorations to it, but the whole idea was kind of from him, and I just used it so I can now actually get curved foundations for a very beautiful train line, as you can see is pulling in my Caterium right now. Also, as you know, I still don't have the Mark 6 conveyor belts, so I'm not totally utilizing this, but I am building in preparation for it. So eventually this train will be bringing 400 per car, like per little car there. Right now it is not bringing that much. It's bringing whatever 780 divided by 3 is, which I think is like 260. So that's going to be hanging out downstairs, just going into an awesome sink for now. And I've also got all of my miners set up. We've got 3 normal iron nodes right here, 3 normal iron nodes here, 3 normal iron nodes down underneath this rock here, and then 2 copper nodes over there, I think both normal. So we have I think it's 2 lines of 480 for the copper, and then it is, I can just kind of come down here, and we'll find out together. I have labeled everything to make it a whole lot easier for myself to remember going forward. So we come down here, we've got 3 lines of 450 iron ore coming here. So these are all clocked to 450 each. Same thing over here, 3 lines of 450 each. Built with my new fancy, cool walkway frame for the miners, which I think actually works really well. So those are all set to do 450 per minute. Those are all going to be loaded over here shortly. And then if we come over here, this is the copper section right here. We have, it's actually 1 line of 600 copper ingots, or 600 copper ore. That is this one right here, labeled nicely. That is going to go for 1,500 copper ingots, which is 40 refineries. And then we have 360 per minute coming from this one for 900 ingots. That's going to come from 24 refineries, all of which is also labeled upstairs. This platform and here, everything is all set up ready to go for you guys if you are following along in the Google Drive. I think it said episode 27 save, something like that. So yeah, we have it labeled each station will receive 400 per minute eventually. And then if we come on over here to my signs here, we have what we need for today. We have 24 refiners that are going to be set up for 900 copper ingots. We have 40 refineries for 1,500 copper ingots. 1 pipe of 240 water for those, 1 pipe of 400 for those. You get 90 iron ore smelters for 27 iron ore or iron ingots. And then we have 5 pipes of 240 water for the Caterium ingots, which is 50 refineries for 600 Caterium ingots in total. Now, much of this factory is going to run at 50% efficiency until we get that old pure Caterium node up and running, which shouldn't be too bad. That still gives us 75 electromagnetic control rods per minute, which will be plenty to get us until we get to that mark, what is the tier 9? We're pretty close. We're maybe a couple weeks away, and then we're going to be jumping into it. And then we're not even, like, once we enter tier 9, we're in end game, and we still have so many things left to do and so much time still to go. So don't worry, we're not coming to an end anytime soon. But today it's going to be a nice little project of smelting and refining and a little water plant. So I think the water plant is going to kind of go down here, which is kind of perfect. Looks like I'm going to need about 16 or so water extractors. I can kind of like downclock or overclock some things if I need to. So over here we have our 6. This is how I knew to do the 6 lines of iron ore coming in. So we're going to have 6 groups of 15 iron smelters for a total of 90 iron smelters. That's probably going to go in this section right here, I think. Obviously, we're a little squeezed for space down here because I did think it would be cool to have the train running through the factory. And then I think in here, I'll probably set up at least some of the Caterium refiners. If not, I don't think I can fit all 50 of them in here, but I mean, I'm certainly going to try because I think this would be pretty cool. Or I can maybe put the iron, maybe I'll put the iron smelters in here. This is a nice big open space, and I'm quite certain I can't get 50 refineries in here. So let's try, actually here, maybe I'll just do a quick little space check. Yeah, you're definitely not getting 50 refineries in this space. So I'm going to go ahead and put the smelters in this space instead, so I can actually make use of this. because I wanted the train just kind of like running around a bunch of machines. I thought that would look kind of cool. And then over here, I can leave this open for kind of whatever I want to set up over here. Maybe I can set up like some of the copper refineries in here. That might work too, because I do need to fit 20 refineries in for copper ingots. That might fit here. All right, new game plan, because now I got it figured out. So I measured it out. I can fit the 20 copper refineries for the 900 ingots in here. And then I can fit the 6 groups of 15 smelters for a total of 90. Those can be fit in here. So that'll actually work out perfectly. So I'm going to grab, let's start with, let's start with the water plant. We'll just get that done out of the way. So thankfully I've got things kind of labeled here ready to go. Let's do our first one. I need 1 pipe of 240 water for 900 ingots. That means 2, oh, let's not get run over by a train here. That means 2 water pumps for that one. And for 400, I'm just going to do, because 3 at full power would be 360, and then I could overclock, but I'm just going to do a 4th one and I'll downclock. I'll just do 4 set to 100. And then this one would be 10. So it's 10 water extractors. That's 16 water extractors total. Okay, that's perfect. So let's go ahead and pop down here. Maybe we can even fit like 8 and 8 on each side. Let's see if that'll work. Do I have any electricity down here? Let's find out. I do have electricity down here. Excellent. So let's bring this all the way over now. Let's start on... Actually, I guess we'll start on the inside, so I know how far in we can come. Because I can always stretch it out a little further. I think I can't go too far, because we're pretty much at the edge of the build area of the map for water extractors. You can't go too much further. But they can go right here. Okay, so that's perfect. So let's grab our pipeline junctions. We'll pop in our first one here. We'll make sure it's right in the middle of our little spot here. Probably about right there. And then we'll see if we can fit 8 in here. There's 5. Oh, I was going to say, I'm going to run out of power here in a second. Let me put my jetpack back on. So let me take this part out here. See how much further we can get. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7. Can I get an 8 next to it? Nice. Excellent. Okay, so we'll stretch that out a little further. And then that way I can just do 8 on each side to keep it like nice and clean looking. And then maybe I can even encase it in like a long rectangular building or something. Make it like a pump house. But I will have to kind of adjust like where the pipes and everything go. So, because this is going to be a little tight for everything. So we're going to go grab our pipeline junction. I'm actually going to put it here, basically right here instead of in the middle. And I'll connect these two together for the first one. Okay, here let's color code what these are going to. So this one's, I'll change them later, but this one's going to copper. This one's also going to copper. These 4 are also going to copper. And then these ones are going to the, I'll just make them yellow for now. These are going to the Caterium along with the other 8 that'll be on this side. Okay, so that'll be easy enough. All right, so here's the breakdown of our water pumps. So we've got these 2. That's going to be for our 900 copper ingots. We got these 4. That's going to be for our 1500 copper ingots. And then I'm going to split these all into, I think it was 5 pipes I was going to do. Because there's going to be 5 groups of 10 refineries. I'm going to bring those, so it's going to be those 2, these 2, these 2, these 2, and those 2 together. So in total there's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 pipes coming out of here. There you go. Nailed it. Look at all those pipes. Super clean. Just had to lift up one of them, but that's fine. That's enough head lift. That's small enough head lift that the water extractors can handle it. So I have color coded them so I don't forget in the future. We've got our one little one here for the copper. We've got our other one little here for the copper. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Ignoring that one in the middle because that's just an open space. Wanted to be able to give myself enough gap that I could, tell things apart. So I have 5 pipes that are going to be for the Caterium ore and 2 for the copper ore. But let's get started today. with the old, I mean, aside from the water plant being done, that was a way simpler water plant than the last one we had to do. We're going to skip over the K2. I'm going to change the order that these are technically in. Instead of going into the K2, instead of going into the Caterium copper refineries, we're going to do the iron ingot smelters first. We're going to get that done out of the way. So let's kind of bring those in right here to our 6 groups of 15 iron smelters, a total of 90. So I figured I want to do these like 6 groups of 15 because I don't think I'm going to be able to get, I might be able to get my 15 going right across here. Let's see how much room we have to work with. Oh my god, it's like I planned it. Look at that. Look at where 15 sits. Because that, this is not going to be here when it's all said and done. So that gives me just a good enough gap in between the train station to allow those to still be unloaded. And a big enough gap to walk around the machines to be able, and the, you know, the train still to come through. And then to be able to monitor everything and bring everything in and out. So that'll work out perfectly. So let's take this sign out now that we're done with that. Let's put in the 6 groups of 15 of these we're going to need. Let's figure out how much space we get to work with here. I'm going to give myself a 1 block gap in between. Oh my god, look where the 6th one ends up. It's literally like I planned this out perfectly. I actually didn't, but this actually just is a happy coincidence that I'm working with here. This is going to work really well. So now I'm just going to fill in the rest of these smelters and this giant area all through. Oh man, that looks really cool with the signs on them. Although I will say it makes it look like they're on even when they're not. So that's a little confusing to the eyeballs. I'll probably get used to, but it does look a little funny that because I used a green background, it looks like the machines are actually turned on already. Look at that. Man, that's so easy. I can't believe I just placed down 90 smelters in like 30 seconds. I mean, I still have to hook up each line here, but I mean, that's crazy. And because of the way I did my power bars, I didn't even have to connect them. They just auto-connect. Isn't that perfect? And that works out really nicely. There is the little tiny, so there you can see the little tiny gap in between them, but I mean, that's okay. Kind of helps me remember where I actually need to put the belts and stuff in. So, I mean, hooking all these up is actually pretty straightforward too, because we have 6 groups and we have 6 miners all doing the same amount. Literally, I just need to bring in I need to bring in the lines of the iron ore and basically just feed it into the lower part of the factory here. We'll just kind of feed it underneath. I'll left myself some space to work with. As you can see, no logistics floors. I'm pretty excited about that. I'm quite enjoying keeping everything all on the same floor as much as I can. I just got to bring this underneath so I don't block the train, obviously. So we're going to bring the iron ore over and hook up all these ones. And then so each one just gets a floor hole. But I'll bring it out a little bit just so we can actually see the iron ore coming into the line. And it'll also help me remember where they all snap to. So it's basically all lined up in the middle spot of this foundation here. Man, look at that sea of iron smelters down there. So now they're all hooked up. They've got their things in the back. I also labeled them and turned the last line on the mergers white just so I can remember. So each line of these is going to do 450 iron ingots. So we'll kind of be able to send those up to the floor up above. And I don't have to worry about like connecting them together or anything because I can't move 900 parts per minute yet. But I think I'll go ahead and start getting these. I don't really need to hook these up to power yet because I mean I really have nowhere to send the ingots yet anyway. But we'll probably get the iron ore fit in here at least. And I think now that I've been like floating up here and looking down on it, I kind of want to build like a really high up walkway so you have like a nice overhead view of the factory you can walk around on. So I'll probably build like a catwalk. Maybe suspended from the ceiling or just like kind of really high up. We'll figure out a way to make it look cool. So if we're bringing in the 3 lines of the iron ore, I can always just bring these out a little bit and we'll just clear these out in a little while. So I think what I'll actually do is I'll grab my blueprint. We'll grab my, do I have it under decor? No, it's just under undefined still. We're going to go to our small mover tower belts only because there are going to be 3 coming from each one, right? So we're going to go like, we're going to bring it in. Probably about right there, right? So we'll pop this right here. Right in the middle, hopefully. There we go. And then each of the belts can be hooked up to here. Can I hook up a lift to these without it looking terrible? I wonder. I certainly can. That's perfect. Okay, so we're going to bring this one over here. I think I put the lifts on the wrong way. I did. Oops, my bad. There we go. Okay, so now that should be hooked up properly. Gotta just turn those all around. Oh, that one's gonna be too long. What about this one? That one's fine, and then we'll just have to get the sign out of the way. Excuse me, sir. There we go. So that's all of our iron ore hooked up there. Then we'll just take these little cactuses out. Cacti. Man, that's loud. Oh, my in-game sounds might be a little louder than normal in this video. My bad. Alright, she's a little funky looking right now. We got a little up and over bridge here just so it keeps the outside nice and clean. And then it's going to come in, since this is going to come down anyway once the foundations are more filled in. I'll put a lift system in and fill those up from down below. So that's our first 3, getting iron ore on the side. So that can eventually be closed in. And then the other 3, which are right here, those are going to get connected to the 3 ones over here, which I'll probably bring in through this little gap right here if I can. There you go, something like that. Just a nice little simple system to bring our iron ore. We'll bring them around from the outside, basically the same way we did this one. And then they're going to come up. This one's going to get hooked up into this far one down here. Make sure it's actually facing towards me. I do that one that way, and that one that way. So we'll do that one directly right into there because it kind of just lines up perfectly. And go into there. So we'll have to go a little bit longer into that one. There we go. That'll be all of our iron ingot smelters fed. So I'm going to take that off the to-do list, even though they're not turned on yet. And then now we can move into the caterium and copper part of this refinery and... yeah, they're all refineries. What am I talking about? So let's do our 20 copper refineries in here for our 900 ingots. Hopefully my power stretches just far enough. Where is my power in here? Oh, it's going off of the train line. That's what it's going off of. Okay, so I need 2 groups of 10 refineries put in here. So I'm going to grab my blueprints here, go to refineries, grab we'll do 2 4s and a 2 for the copper ingots. We'll spin those around, make sure I actually have the inputs on this side. I have no idea where those are because this blueprint is just so actually huge. There we go. I think if I put it right there, gives me enough space still on the back side. I don't think I want to go back a little further, but I don't think I actually can. Yeah, I'm about maximizing the space down here. Like, it's a little bit tight to have these in here, but I think it's really cool to have them down here. So I'm going to pop those in here. There's 8 for both groups. If I can get out of the way of it. There we go. There's another 8. And then we'll grab our 2. And this is so easy. Make your life easy and always use blueprints. Yeah, right. Blah, blah. Can't speak English. Man, that's so cool. I have the train coming right through the factory. That's awesome. I like that a lot, actually. So we can get all these hooked up now. These are just going to have an output of... So each of these is going to be 450. So I'll just mark that out so I don't forget. I'll just raise it up a little bit since these are too. So this would be both output 450 copper ingots. There we go. So that'll be all hooked up, ready to go. And those are all set. I don't actually think I need to do any underclocking or overclocking on those either. Same with all our smelters through here. Everyone's just set, ready to go. No underclocking or overclocking. And same with these, no underclocking or overclocking. That's kind of why I picked this number, like to do 150 electro piece. Some people ask me sometimes, like, how do you just pick numbers to build? And I'm like, well, yeah, sometimes, to be honest. But I kind of look usually at what they're used for going forward. So I know electromagnetic control rods get used for a lot. So I was like, how can I make a big number but also make it really easy? Turns out making 150 with these alternate recipes, pretty easy. Okay, so that's our 20 copper refineries done. So we just need to do the other, or sorry, 24. That's what I meant to say there. Hey, was that right? All right, here, did I mess this up? Because this is 20, right? Is this supposed to be 24? It is supposed to be 24. I'm just dumb. Okay, so this is supposed to be 24 copper refineries for 900 ingots, which is totally fine. It just means I could have done, you know, all groups of 4 instead of just the 2 on the end. But that means I can just go like this, grab our other 2, pop this on the end of these. Make sure they're actually facing the right way. And just like that, super easily, I have fixed my tiny little problem. And now I have 24 refineries here ready to go. I was like, well, I seem like I have an extra little bit of space here off this. I do have some extra space, but when I was planning this out before, I thought I took up like pretty much all of it. So that is now set properly, ready to go. 24 refineries, sorry, my bad. That means 40 left to go upstairs. But technically we have 90 refineries left in place. Yay. All right, floor number 2, welcome. So, since we kind of know that 10 refineries fits really nicely down this way, although I still do have some room over here that I can use, although I may save some of this for like some actual constructors or something. I think I'll do this so that they're just kind of all in the same sort of area. So we're going to grab our blueprints for our copper ingots once again. Still have to put down 40 of these, unfortunately. I think I'll do, should I do 4 groups of 10? I should probably do 4 groups of 10. Alright, so I have 4 groups here now. I don't have the actual 10 down. But as I'm realizing, I may not even have room to put the Caterium refineries on this floor. So this may be copper refineries and then all the copper. Oh, actually that might work. So maybe if we do this floor as all the copper, or the rest of the copper refineries anyway. And then we can have, there's going to be a sea of constructors. So that can probably go on this floor for the rest of the copper products. And then we'll go upstairs to the 3rd floor. And that's where we're going to put those bad boy Caterium refineries. So let's continue putting in our little group here. So same thing, like I said, we do 2 groups of 4. And then we'll do a 2 on the end. It's getting a little laggy, but that's because I'm just trying to put down so many things all at once. Here we go. 40 copper refineries to do 1,500 copper ingots per minute. So we'll get all those hooked up, ready to go. Oh, the lag sometimes with the signs actually hooking up. Man, I think those actually color coding things looks actually so much cooler. I've never really color coded things that much before, but I think it really actually, you know, makes the factory pop just a little bit extra. And it also helps me remember what everything is, because sometimes hooking things up, I'm like, wait, what was this belter pipe again? All right, just before we jump on to our Caterium refineries up there, I'm just going to kind of cover how I did the water coming in for the copper refineries. So I've basically made the copper refineries a full loop system since it can kind of all share less than 600 water. It's a full looping system that goes around all the backside. Everything's all interconnected. And then it'll feed priority from this water pipe. Will just kind of flow down into fill the rest. That's getting pumped from down here. Which is coming along the ceiling down here into this weird mess of pipes that I've kind of got down here. I'm going to hide this underneath the floor anyway, so it's not really a big deal. So we got the pumps kind of coming up through there. You got your 2 hooked up to your 1 on this floor, which same idea. It's just a fully looping system. And then on the back side, I actually fed this one in on the back side for some weird, I don't know why I did that. I could have saved so much pipe. So it comes up, it gets fed from right here. And that's going to fill this entire system with water. I don't have the copper ore set up yet, but I will pretty soon. But let's head on up to the upper floor now, the very, very top. And we're going to put down these 50 Caterium refineries in, what is it? I think I was going to do 5 groups of 10. Which does mean I'm going to have to separate, I'm going to figure out how to split. There's 3 train cars that come in right now. I'm going to have to figure out how to split 3 into 5. So if you guys have good like 3 to 5 balancers, or it's probably even simpler than I'm even thinking it is. So Any help is certainly welcome in the comments, or you can jump in our Discord too and hop in there, and I'm usually asking for help a lot in there. Alright, top level. Let's see what we got here. So I think we're going to run out of power right here. I'm just going to hurt my ankles. Kind of come over here. Should be power up here somewhere. There we go. So I think if we kind of start, since the Caterium comes from roughly this area, I think if we kind of started, if we have it coming up maybe on this back side of the factory, so we'll have everything kind of going, flowing that direction. That way I don't have to like complicate things and mix things up. Okay, so for pure Caterium ingots, like I said, we're gonna do 5 groups of 10. So I'm gonna figure out where I want to put these down first, and then I want to make sure they're actually facing the right way. So that's actually in the wrong direction. I want it to be going that way, and then give myself some space here. So that's like 2 in. Let's go like 3 in. Make sure I actually have enough space to fit 10 of these down. There we go. I don't know what happened to my brain there, thinking I was going to go that way. It's actually this way, so that we can actually fit the 10 group or the 5 groups of 10 coming down here. Because otherwise, fitting 5 along this way would have probably been like crazy tight. Okay, so that's our K-tier. Man, these look cool. So I'm very dangerously running out of power here on my upper floor. I'm going to have to bring some up. So I need to put down 5 groups of 10 of these. So let's make sure we got a good distance in between them. Okay, so it's actually supposed to be there. My bad. Let's give it like... how much space does it need in between? That should be enough, right? So that would be like 1, 2... Alright, there we go. Just making sure everything's fit. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups, and then we'll make it into 10. So that gives me enough space over here, because I still need to put, I think it's like 50 constructors for all the quick wire, so I'll probably end up putting those maybe over in this section. And I'm starting to wonder if I really even needed this whole side part. I mean, I guess, oh, actually, wait, we still need assemblers and everything too. So yeah, we're gonna need all that space. So let's turn this into 5 groups of 10 really quick. There we go. Whoever would have thought it'd be so easy to place down 50 refineries that are basically already connected. All you gotta do is hook the belts up in the back and the front and the pipes up on the side. And it's pretty much already ready to go. We don't even have to, like I said, for everything else. We don't have to do any underclocking, no overclocking. We'll just have to bring the water up from down below, which is going to probably require a handful of pumps at this point because it's a little ways down there. And then we'll be able to pump, pipe, or... Man, my brain's starting to melt here. We can bring the Caterium ore up here and figure out how we're, like I said, how we're going to split the 4 groups that it's going to come in as. We're going to split that into 5 evenly, hopefully. We'll figure it out, though. So aside from getting just all of our belts and pipes hooked up and then the power, I think I'm going to end that as part 1 here for today. Maybe a little bit shorter, but I think it'll work a little bit better if I just kind of bank these up into slightly shorter episodes and then just multiple parts so that I don't get burnt out, you guys don't get burnt out, and we get more content. So we'll end it here for today, and I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. If you're following along and you got confused, have any questions, feel free to let me know down below, or like I said, join the Discord. And I will see you guys here next time to lay down the sea of constructors, hundreds and hundreds of them, and then probably a couple hundred assemblers, and then this build's going to be done. It's only 2 parts, and then we'll be finished. So in preparation for next time, just get all your belts and pipes hooked up. You can go ahead and we'll hook up the water in between episodes too. We'll get our water pipes running. Actually, maybe I might save the water pipes for the next one, but I'll at least get the belts of the ore and everything coming up, and we'll get that finished, ready to go. So I'll see you guys in the next one.